Member for Sinisina Yongumur.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. I want to say there's no question about the integrity of the minister. He's a very good man, and he has a lot of credibility, and he usually does things for a lot of good reasons for our country. That's number one. Number two, we will support him in his work as a minister on any initiative he takes on matters that will advance the welfare of our communities and societies throughout Papua New Guinea. That's a given. Both sides of the floor can support him. It's just the nature and character of the way this bill is written that raises some questions. We're not saying generally he should not be advancing in that direction, but when he brings papers like this into the floor for us, then he should make sure through his department and advisors that it's written out properly to give him the results he wants and we all of us want. So on that note, there's whatever the Sepuka Temu, member for Abao, has said earlier, I endorse what he said. And on top of that, I also want to point out a couple of things about this bill. This bill talks about advancing the welfare of the community. So when you go into that definition, you will see that community means all the human beings. Go back to that definition. So the bill is intended to work towards advancing the welfare of all the human beings in this country. And for me, that's too broad. It's very, very broad. We need to be more specific because there are many other departments already serving the individual human beings in this country, like education, like the Department of the youth section, which the minister is also responsible for, I believe, the Women's Council, health, education. All those things involve improving the welfare of the human beings, the people of this country. So when we want to promote a bill that is intended to help us, to give us the powers and the functions and most of all the resources to advance those goals, we must be specific so that we don't encroach upon the functions of the other pre-existing agencies of government. So that's point number one. I find the objectives, the functions too generic, too general, not specific enough. Like when we hear the speeches from the other members, the speakers on the floor, they talk about advancing the interests. It's important for our children, but the bill doesn't talk about just the children. It doesn't. It's misrepresenting what the bill says. The bill talks about everybody, and that's too broad. So I would recommend that in order for there to be effective, for the bill to be effective, it should be specific. It should focus on a particular category or group of people, like the youths, pick up on that and advance them, and we will of course support them because we know that there's going to be precision in the approach to which sector of community they're going to be talking about. Women, there's already women's organizations, council, women's council, and all of those organizations looking after women's interests already. Second point I want to raise is my concern about the exclusion of DDAs. DDAs, the majority of us here are chairmen of DDAs. We are created by an act of parliament in here, and we are not included. Look at section 4, for example. Talks about the establishment of the community development system, and it talks about how they will align their work with the work of the national government, the provincial government, and the local level government, but the DDAs are not mentioned. As we all know, the LLGs are there by law, but they don't have the resources. They don't have most of all the finance. So most LLGs throughout the country depend upon the DDAs for funding to do their work. So how can the DDA cooperate with the council and the community development system if we are not all sitting together in the same room? and talking, aligning it, because in order for, I know the national departments here don't get fully funded. And departments like community development get the lowest priority. So they won't have the money to fund the programs in the rural district like, say, Teleforming or Samurai Murua or Sinisne Ongmu for that matter. They won't have it, but the DDAs in those local districts will have the money to fund the local community programs. So you have to include, through you, Acting Speaker, the minister has to have the DDAs included in this scheme of things. So we are there, we are involved, we know what they are doing, and there's the possibility of us funding them. Provincial government is already there, but you know, it's a concern that the DDAs who are statutory not included. You look at Section 7, for example, talks about the implementation of the development plans, etc. No mention of DDAs, but the other sectors of government are mentioned. So that's a serious gap. There's a serious gap in the connectivity of this bill to the floor on the ground, where the money is. The money is in the hands of the DDAs. We all know that. So that's a serious. If the minister wants the bill to succeed, he needs to bring in the DDAs. Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker.